Today's guest is Kevin Wilcox, also known as The Sneaky Lens. He's a Canadian photographer and social media influencer who has managed to significantly grow his Instagram following over the last year. Kevin now gets consistently high views and engagement on all of his content, with some reels at almost 2 million views alone. So today we talk to him about how he was able to do this, as well as get some other useful tips and tricks for people looking to grow their Instagram presence. Now, with all that being said, coming to you from the home of Kevin, I hope you enjoy the interview. All right, Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, man.
So you've experienced some really impressive growth on your Instagram page over the last year or so. What do you think is the reason for this, and how has it affected how you view content?
Honestly, I like to chalk it up to a little bit of luck. I was very consistent in posting for years. I posted, I want to say, for about 6 years before I actually got a massive amount of growth. But I was really tailoring my content to make it the best that I think the viewers would be able to get, or to get the most value from my content for the viewers. And I think kind of led to more comments, more engagement, more shares, which ultimately led to me kind of gaining followers at a bit of a faster rate than normal.
Right. And I noticed, over time, your content style has sort of changed from posting pictures as a photography channel to finding ways to incorporate them into now Reels. How has Reels played a part in your, growth of your page?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm definitely a photographer. I'd say this on my page. I'm not a videographer. I'm not very good at video. But in today's world with content, even though I'm a photographer, you have to incorporate video content. You don't really have a choice. What I try to take the angle on my channel, I try to take a photography angle, but I'm using the videos to show my life or the behind the scenes as a photographer.
Right.
So I'm not focusing my channel on creation of videos as much as I am. Those videos are going to be showing my followers how to take photos, or the types of edits I do on my photos. With today's content, you really have no choice, or with today's kind of social media algorithms, video content is the king. So I think a lot of photographers confuse that and they drop all their photography and transfer to videography. I think that's kind of the wrong approach. I prefer to transfer videos to showing how to, take photos or how to implement photography.
How did you feel? And maybe you can sort of walk me through getting your first viral reel back in February of last year.
Honestly, that reel, I would say it changed my life. For those of you who don't know, I posted a reel that was really engagement focused, kind of as a joke. I actually thought, I messaged my buddy. I was like, I'll try it. What the hell? It's probably not gonna work, but what the heck? I posted it overnight. It exploded. I think I gained 25,000 followers from that one reel in 2 weeks. I was getting...
And up until that point, how many followers did you have?
Maybe 1,500, 2,000 max.
It's a lot of
growth. I jumped. It was ridiculous. I woke up with 100 DMs.
Wow.
I had a couple small brands contacting me through my DMs. I had Instagram offering me different benefits now to go into the verified. I was eligible for that as well. It kind of just completely shifted my mentality, and I think that was the moment where I decided, all right, that kind of gave me a high, and I'm like, all right, I gotta roll with this. I'm not giving up. This is what I want to do.
That's incredible. And you were sort of talking a little bit about how photography channels shouldn't drop one style of content over the other. You kind of have to find that balance. But it does seem like we were kind of saying Reels are sort of the meta right now, and Reels are how you seem to gain a lot of new followers and stuff like that. But with that being said, you still do post a lot of pictures, some slideshows. What's the strategy behind that, and what role do you feel those posts play in the development of your page?
That's a great question. I think Reels are really, as you said, the meta, and you have to use them. I'm a firm believer that to stop posting photos isn't necessarily the best way to focus your content. There's a place for photos, there's a place for videos, but photos for me is a lot more of a an artistic aspect behind the channel rather than the videos where I can kind of explain things. Photos, they kind of have to speak for themselves rather than a video where you can really show your intentions behind it, or there's actual audio over the file.
So would you almost say like the reels are sort of like trailers to bring people into your photos?
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's the goal. I always, all my reels are either educationally based or behind the scenes, but my goal was always to shift them to my photography, whether that's, my website with my content or my actual Instagram photography portfolio. I want people to see my photography, and I use reels to try and showcase the stories behind those photos.
Absolutely. Now, we did talk a little bit earlier about that first viral reel that you had, but since then you've had multiple reels that have gone over 1 million, almost 2 million views, getting consistent like thousands and thousands of views on these reels. I feel like you have some insight potentially into how to strategically post these things, and I was just wondering, is there a specific time of day, a hashtag or feature that you find particularly makes a difference in the performance of an Instagram post, or do those have like minimal effects?
I mean, every post I do is very planned out and it's very strategic, and that's what I tell anyone who asks me that is, depending on your channel, you have to build your own strategy to make sure your content has the best opportunity to reach not only the most amount of people possible, but your desired audience. So going, for example, with hashtags, if you're just posting hashtags with hundreds of millions of photos posted on it, it's going to kind of get lost in the sea. You have to, or every time I post a photo or a reel, I do a little bit of research into the best hashtags. So I like to incorporate small hashtags with a few thousand posts on them, medium hashtags, maybe 50,000, 100,000 posts, and then a couple, really big popular hashtags. It kind of gives me a good balance there. And also the relevant hashtags. I don't want to just post hashtags that, when someone goes on it, they're not going to see it.
It doesn't apply to the...
Exactly. It's not related at all. It has to be tailored to your strategy. Also, with my time of day, I really utilize Instagram's insights. They have incredible statistics and insights tailored specifically for your channel. So I think the best approach is to utilize those and post at the time of day your followers are more active, post on a consistent basis, make sure you're consistently posting stories throughout the day so you're always appearing at the front of people's profiles. Being, strategic in your posting is going to give you the best opportunity to have the most exposure possible. And, if you're constantly sending people DMs, you're constantly commenting on other people's posts, they're going to comment back. You're liking other people's posts, they're going to comment on your posts. And then it's going to kind of full circle. The more you're active on the app and the more you're contributing to Instagram's community, they're going to want to keep up that momentum because you're bringing them business. You're going to be the one that people remember.
I think that's really interesting because I think as a creator, a lot of people are so focused on just making that piece of content and putting it out there. But there is so much more that goes into it, like you're saying, making these story posts, following up in the comment sections, interacting, and even going on other pages. So yeah, that's something to definitely consider that I hadn't even thought about that before personally. Yeah. So one thing that I've noticed too in the sort of building of your page is that you brand yourself as a travel, nature, and wildlife photographer, creating content centered around these topics. How important do you think having a niche like this has been? And do you think certain niches tend to inherently do better than others?
Yeah, definitely. I try to take a broad approach to my account in a sense because, I love so many different types of photography. I know some photographers who only take photos of cars. That's all they do. And if that's all they love, that's awesome. That's their one niche and they have a following that's dedicated to that. I bounce all over the place. I take photos of, wildlife, and then I want to go traveling, and then I take landscape photos, and I'll take portraits and car photos. So I think, building a niche is definitely important. It's definitely something I want to work on a bit more, is to have a bit more consistency throughout my content. Right. Because I think if you're all over the place, it confuses your followers for a bit, because if I make a reel about cars and then someone goes to my page and they don't see any photos of cars and it's all travel and wildlife.
Yeah.
It's not, necessarily the most enticing for them to follow me or engage with my content.
Right.
But if I have a consistent content and they see that throughout my page, the reason they're going to my page is because they liked a specific photo or reel, and the rest of my content reflects that. It's going to make them want to follow to see more. So I definitely think it's important to build a niche while still, doing what you love and not limiting yourself to one aspect of content creation.
So it's just a matter of sort of, I guess, like being honest with yourself about, what it is that you want to do and what you're willing to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. And my last question, you've been posting on the Sneaky Lens since 2017. How do you think Instagram will continue to change?
Wow, 2017 it's been a while. I mean, they're constantly changing with the landscape of content creation. When TikTok came in, Instagram started pushing shorts. Instagram started pushing reels. Then YouTube started pushing shorts. Everyone's trying to battle on that same level field.
Right.
I don't think photos will ever go away. I think there's a lot of rumors out there that people say photos are never going to exist. I think people will always resonate with photos and with human content. AI is changing the game right now and it's crazy, but having that human connection to your brand is so key. And I really still think Instagram, first and foremost, over the next few years will always be a platform to show your personality, show your art, and show your brand. And I think Instagram realizes that, and they're trying to continue that momentum in that way.
Incredible. I've been following your page since 2017. It's been a pleasure to watch it grow, and it's an honor to have you here as a guest today. Thanks a lot for coming on, man.
Thank you so much. I always love talking to other creatives in the industry. So amazing opportunities. The first time I've ever done something like this. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We will be linking all of Kevin's social media in the description. He started a YouTube channel. You can go check that out. He has a TikTok. He has a bunch of really cool side projects. I really, really recommend you guys go check him out right here. Here's the @ I usually let the guests sign off.
Thank you very much. Please feel free to send me any messages or comments. I love interacting with the community. I'll always do my best to answer. So hopefully I see you guys on my page, and thank you so much.